My last question for you, in fact, was, of all the subject matter we've talked about, what is the most interesting thing we've missed, in your view? The thing that you think is most pertinent or interesting or significant, or that perks people up or sits them on the end of their chair when you discuss it?
I think the only other area that fascinates people even more than sleep is dreaming. So dreaming above and beyond the stage of which it comes from, which is principally called rapid eye movement sleep or dream sleep. REM sleep provides a set of physiological and benefits, but dreaming, we've now discovered, even above and beyond that, provides benefits, and it provides at least two benefits. The first is creativity. I was telling you that during deep sleep, you cement individual memories. You grab memories and you shift them from a short-term storage reservoir to a long-term storage reservoir, and you strengthen the circuit of those memories. So you future-proof information. But that's individual memories. What we discovered is that sleep is much more intelligent than you ever thought possible. That it's during REM sleep, and particularly during dreaming, that we take all of the individual pieces of information that we've been learning and we start interconnecting them and associating them with all of our back catalog of stored information. And so what dream sleep, one of the functions of dream sleep, is to cross-link and associate new memories together. So you wake up the next day after dream sleep, with a revised mind web of associations. And those are capable of divining solutions to previously impenetrable problems. So think of dreaming as, it's almost like informational alchemy, that you start to fuse things together that shouldn't normally go together. But when they do, they cause marked advances in your thinking, in your productivity, in your ingenuity. And in that way, you go to sleep with the pieces of the jigsaw, but you wake up with the puzzle complete. And I would argue that that's the difference between knowledge, which is remembering the individual pieces, and wisdom, which is knowing what it all means when you fit them together. That's one of the functions of dreaming. It's the reason, by the way, that you've never been told to stay awake on a problem.
Yeah.
The other function of dreaming that we know of is that dreaming provides a form of emotional first aid. That we've done a lot of work, and we came up with a theory that was called dreaming as overnight therapy. And what we've discovered is that when we go into dream sleep, particularly based on its neurochemical profile and its physiological anatomy of the brain, the dreaming brain will take difficult, painful experiences, sometimes traumatic experiences, and it will essentially strip away the bitter emotional rind from the informational orange. So let's take a step back. What makes a memory emotional? What makes a memory emotional is that at the time of the experience, that experience triggered a strong visceral reaction. And that visceral reaction is useful to the brain, and it wraps that experience in this blanket of what we call emotion. It red flags it and prioritizes it in the brain. So now you've created a memory of an emotional event. In other words, you've created an emotional memory. But what dream sleep does is then it takes that useful emotional memory and it will detox the emotion from the memory. It strips the bitter emotional rind from the informational orange. It's almost, and that's why we called it overnight therapy, so that the next day you come back and now you feel better about those experiences. So you have a memory of an emotional event, but is no longer emotional itself. You don't regurgitate that same visceral reaction that you had at the time of learning. So the brain has done this elegant trick of stripping the emotion from the memory. So that's the second benefit, is that it provides, it's not time that heals all wounds. It is time during sleep, and particularly during dream sleep, that provides emotional convalescence.